Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. If you guys have been under a rock or you just started playing War Thunder within the past few days or even weeks, there have been huge changes going on ever since a gigantic protest that captured national gaming news attention about 4 months ago, 3-4 months ago. Anyways, because of that, we have a roadmap coming out, which basically every few days or weeks guides and details bigger and bigger changes that have been happening to the game, and today is no different. We are getting details on how they are going to reduce the RP and SL cost of aircraft largely across the board, at least when it comes to the most expensive vehicles, which is really, really nice. Now, with that said, this is pretty much, at least just according to the website, going to impact rank 5 through rank 7 vehicles, but I looked at their chart, which I'll go over in just a second, and it looks like it's going to impact a few more. Pretty much every rank of vehicle in War Thunder, at least when it comes to aircraft, which is really, really nice. So I said, just so that there's no confusion, I'll just read this very quickly, verbatim. That way you guys know exactly what's going on without just me giving you the notes version of it. So it says, we're pleased to announce and present to you the changes that will see the reduction of the research and purchase cost of top-tier aircraft. These changes will not only affect rank 6 through rank 7, as we previously mentioned in the roadmap, but in addition rank 5, as well as many reductions and some increases in the price of vehicles in other ranks due to the rearrangements in ranks and future placements into groups. So basically, they're just telling you how it's going to reduce the general cost of getting these vehicles. Also, it will cost less, well, I'll go over this in just a second, to get an expert crew for a lot of vehicles, but again, I'll go over that in just a moment. After we sat down to work on aircraft that needed to be reduced, the decision to also reduce the cost of rank 5 and other aircraft ranks was made after we looked at detailed analytics as well as statistical calculated data. As with our previous roadmap news article, we're presenting these changes to you so that you can have a detailed look and prepare for them in advance. These changes will be released in the upcoming major update alongside the progression changes in September, so that the research cost of vehicles moving up in rank don't need to be changed twice. So if you guys don't know also, there was an article, and I'll try to link it down below, but pretty much they are completely updating the ground tech trees and grouping a bunch of vehicles together in folders, and also reducing the cost of RP for a lot of vehicles, and I think SL as well. But basically, if a vehicle gets into a folder, so for example, now at the end of the German ground tech tree, at least what will happen at the new update is there will be a combo folder, I guess you could say, right? Like where you get the Leopard 2A5, that'll cost the same amount as it always has, but the 2A6 will be an optionally unlocked vehicle, if that makes any sense, and it will cost half as much RP as it used to, which is really, really cool. So it says, let's dive into the details as to what exactly is being reduced. The following parameters will see reductions: the amount of research points required to research aircraft, the amount of research points required to research modifications of aircraft, the silver lion cost for purchasing aircraft, the silver lion cost for crewing aircraft, the SL cost for purchasing an expert crew, and the SL cost for purchasing modifications. As there will be a lot, we prepared 2 Google spreadsheet documents that contain preliminary data for you to take a detailed look. And let me tell you guys, there is a lot. And now bear in mind also, again, some of these things, some vehicles will actually see a slight increase in SL, but those vehicles, at least just based on what I was kind of looking at very briefly, it doesn't look like that's going to be very common. The vast majority of vehicles will see a decrease in RP, SL, and just pretty much everything, so that will be great. It says, in addition to the above, and I'll go over these detailed changes in just a second, but it says, in addition to the above, during the work we carried out, we've also decided to take a closer look at the game's initial ranks. That includes the smoothing of purchasing vehicles. We realize that the balance of Silver Lions costs in relation to the earn rate of research points, vehicles could fall behind. Because of this, we're excited to say that the purchase cost of a wide range of most vehicles in all ranks, aircraft, ground vehicles, and naval forces, will see a reduction. This also includes a reduction in crewing vehicles, purchasing expert crews, as well as vehicle modifications. The details regarding these changes are also included in the 2 link tables above. So pretty much what they're saying is that they're going to reduce pretty much across the board for the entire game. Again, air, ground, naval, everything in terms of how much it'll cost to actually research and purchase these vehicles and even crew them and expert crew them. Pretty much everything. Even buying and unlocking the modifications, we'll see in general a decrease. So that said, let's go ahead and just look at these changes briefly and see exactly what they're talking about. So this is the short economy changes, I guess you could say, like the condensed version of it, because the full version of it is absolutely gigantic. This pretty much goes over every vehicle, and I really feel bad for whoever had to enter all this in. Because I mean, like, you could see it's got like the naval, it's got tanks, it's got aircraft, pretty much everything that you could want. This has it. And so let's just go over the shorter version pretty quickly. Now up here you see the total difference in purchase cost for SL. This is going to be the total cost, so between every single aircraft in a rank in a nation. So for example, rank 3 is going to see a 1,061,000 SL decrease for the US. Rank 3? That's across every aircraft. So I mean, you're looking at probably like what? I don't know, 10 or to 50,000, maybe 50,000, maybe 100,000 SL cost decrease between pretty much on average between each vehicle, which is pretty damn good. And of course, as you get into smaller nations, typically it goes down. Italy is going to have a very large decrease in terms of cost, which is interesting. And their rank 1 is going to have a huge decrease. Same with Japan. That's really, really cool. Now, of course, as you can see here, it kind of goes up and down depending on the nation and the rank. But interestingly, we have in rank 4, Sweden and Israel will see a slight increase in SL, unless of course they forgot to put a negative mark there, or minus mark, but who knows, right? I doubt that that's the case. I think they are actually seeing a slight increase. But across the board, we are seeing, for the most part, decreases, and big ones. Now again, this is to do with pretty much every vehicle. I think right now the US only has 3 or 4 rank 8 vehicles. So if they have like 4, for example, they're only going to see about a 20,000 SL decrease between all of them, so on average between them all, which isn't all that big, but it's still a welcome decrease. Now, bigger yet, I would argue, is that we're going to have a different research cost for aircraft. So again, pretty much the same idea, but instead of SL, this is RP and how much RP it'll cost. And Israel, again, they're going to have a higher RP cost for rank 4 for whatever reason, but beside the point, you're going to see 250,000 fewer RP for the US, 300 or 30,000 rather less for the USSR, and that would probably indicate to me, what is that, just the MiG-29 I think at this point. So it's not really going to have too much of a decrease, unless of course we get another MiG-29 coming to War Thunder, but this almost kind of tells me that we're not, kind of like because this is coming out in the next major update, so they probably aren't going to release another one. Anyways, or maybe they are, and because it'll already have those changes applied, they don't have to mark it. Okay, maybe. Doesn't really matter. That's just me kind of throwing some stuff out. Then, of course, you have your total purchase cost for SL for aircraft modifications. This one's huge. I am stoked for this because, or actually not even this, but the RP cost. This one's huge because, especially at top tier, the stock grind is a pain. By top tier, typically you have enough SL to kind of cover the costs, and 34,000 SL really isn't all that much. But 245,000 RP is absolutely gigantic, and I am stoked that that is going to be coming to War Thunder, that we are going to be seeing 37,000 less RP to be able to grind all of the aircraft modifications. 240,000 less for the USSR at rank 8? That's ridiculously good. Now again, there are some standouts. It tends to be rank 4 Sweden and Israel. They will be getting an increase in those regards, which kind of sucks. Britain at rank 1 is going to be getting not shafted or anything, but I mean, for the most part, these are huge, absolutely huge changes that I am really, really happy about. I mean, this is great. Then again, you could look at everything in more detail here, but pretty much, again, this is huge, absolutely huge news. I'll try to link this down below. And just to kind of cap off this video, as I mentioned before, we will be getting some RP reductions for ground vehicles for the most part, and that's just kind of something I'll link in the comments below. And I do actually have a video going over all the updated ground tech trees So definitely check that out. Again, try to link that below. There are also going to be some improvements to maps, which are really cool. This is going to be the new Fields of Poland over here, and this is the old one. So we will have kind of a camp there, which is a little disturbing, but, you know, we will have that. Then, of course, Normandy will see the addition of, I guess, more cover, which is kind of cool in some ways. So, you know, there's going to be some changes. You guys can definitely check these out, but it just doesn't really seem like, you know, of course, these will be very big changes because, in theory, they will stop things like spawn sniping and things of that nature. But, of course, I mean, it's just really a quick read. Either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We are getting really close to finishing up this tech tree at this point, or not the tech tree, but rather the roadmap, I meant to say, which is awesome. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. But either way, thanks again, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.